back to the channel. Thanks for joining us again. So you guys have seen the thumbnail. You know what we're doing today. We got a brand new set of Goodyear slicks. We're gonna mount them up to those Comp Series wheels. You guys have seen those in a couple episodes already. Pretty stoked for this because I've been waiting for tires for a while. If you've ordered tires in the last little bit, you know that back order is like crazy. So these showed up relatively quickly. Stoked on that, and we can finally use those Billet specialty wheels. You guys helped me pick which wheels we were gonna run at the track versus at the street, because I got street series as well. So Comp Series for the track, that just makes the most sense. You guys nailed it. But we gotta prep those wheels. So we're gonna be using rim screws and tubes with the slicks. So we need to drill for rim screws and tubes. I'm gonna show you guys all of that. We're gonna show you guys the difference in the tires that I got and fitment on the vehicle after we get them mounted up as well. So lots to cover today. We're gonna do a little bit of weight stuff too. I'll measure those or weigh those Billet specialty wheels versus the weld wheels we were running last year. So let's just get right into it. First thing I'll show you is the new slicks that I got versus the old slicks and talk a little bit about that. Okay, so here we go. Goodyear Eagle dragway slicks 29 by 12. Replacing our 28 by 11.5 Mickey Thompson tires. So slightly wider. That is just the 29 by 12 is their designation. If you actually look at the section width, which is the true width of the tire, it's about 13 inches wide versus these guys, which were like 12.55 or something like that. So they're just slightly larger, but we did that because we did have a little bit more room after the Dana swap and switching rims to the different offsets. So one of the reasons we did that Dana swap was to fit bigger tires in, and these are 29 inches tall versus the 28. So they don't look that tall right now. They got no air in them, but they will pump up quite a bit. Now anybody with a Dart's going to say, oh, a 29 doesn't fit, but if you watch my mini tub video, I explained how I did relocate the diff back. We did that back about 3/4 inches, and that gives us enough room to run a 29. So bigger tire in height and width, more traction, better action, and I will lose a little bit of gear ratio, but I'm not overall concerned about that. I just wanted to fit the biggest tire I could in there. I'm a big tire guy. The bigger tire, the better, I say. So really stoked to get these fired up, and the yellow looks killer, so pretty stoked. Check out the width too. It's just like, that's wide. Pretty stoked on that. So we do have to rob some stuff off of this. I'm using the tubes out of these guys, so when we go to get these fitted up, we're gonna bring those with us. I gotta pull the screws out, and then we can steal the tubes out of there for our Billet specialty Comp Series wheels. Okay, so why do you wanna run a rim screw on your drag slicks? Basically what we're stopping is the tire twisting inside the rim. Those screws will help lock the rim and tire together, therefore they cannot slip. You can actually, if you mark your tire and don't have rim screws throughout the day, you'll see that tire slowly creep back, so that's gonna hurt your 60-foot times. Now, why do I run a tube? A lot of you guys are gonna hit me up immediately and say, oh, you don't need a tube, it's extra weight, it's not necessary. And you are right in the fact that it's extra weight. They're not heavy though, it's a few ounces. I personally run them because both Goodyear and Mickey Thompson say they are required. I know they're not technically required, a lot of guys don't run them, but that's why I run them. The tire manufacturer suggests it, so that's why I do run. Pete also suggested doing it when I first started running slicks like 4 or 5 years back. So that's why I run tubes as well. I know guys though that run rims with screws and slicks, no tubes, pretty common, but I like running the tubes. I've also heard that it helps the structural integrity of the tire last over a longer period of time. It helps with the sidewall rigidity. Guys will say that if they don't run tubes over time, their 60 foots will start slipping, and then they have to get a new set of tires even though they have tread. So I've heard it makes the tire last longer. The manufacturer recommends, so that's why I do it. But we're all ready to go, so let's get moving. And there's our Billet specialty Comp Series wheel. 15 by 10 with a 4-inch back spacing, and we have to prep it to fit these rim screws here. They say buy new rim screws every time that you do this, so I do. They're cheap enough, that's not a big problem. And I actually got this sweet little template from Summit Racing. It was like 12 bucks or something like that, just thin aluminum, but gives you a nice even hole pattern to mark out on your wheels. Now depending on how fast you're going, depends on the amount of screws you have to go. For us, we can do 8 on both the front and the back, and that will be happy with any NHRA tech. When you go really fast, I think you got to do 16 on each side. But we're just going to do 8, so we got to drill holes for the screws, and we also have to prep the hole for the valve stem as the tubes run a bigger valve stem. So we'll drill that guy out 5/8 and then drill the rim for the screws. Okay, I got this guy marked out. You can see on the template I marked every second hole. Pop this guy off. And then I use that to mark out on the rim where we're putting all these guys. And then I've cross-marked them as well. They say just make enough room for a 3/8 socket to fit flat. So that's all I did there. And I got them all marked out. I'll drill them with a 1/8 pilot hole first. You could center pop it if you had a center pop and didn't want to do a pilot hole. But I'm going to pilot hole it and then drill it to the 1364 that Moroso recommends for their screws. Different screw companies will recommend different sizes, but Moroso said 1364. Okay, the back side of the first one's done. So there you can see I got the finished proper hole size. And I go in on just a little bit of an angle to make sure that when that goes down, that rim screw sits flush on there. Just got to go on the back side now and deburr the back of that. You can do that with a file or a soft pad grinder, whatever you got. You do not want to rag back there, obviously, because of the tube. Do put something down nice because you don't want to wreck your nice rims. And this will make a little bit of a mess, but your wife probably will be cool with it when you pull it. Well, you know what they say. Can't make an omelet without drilling holes in your $1,000 rims. Jeez. Are we crazy? I think we're crazy. Okay, so we got our rims all prepped, ready to go now. Drilled, deburred, 5/8 hole in both of them. So we're ready to load up and go get those tires mounted. Full load. Put the nice stuff inside. Okay guys, back from the tire shop now. It's actually a couple days later. Kind of got hung up doing some stuff. Couldn't actually get there right away. But we got our new wheels mounted up. They look absolutely killer. Check these things out. Dude, that is so gnarly. It's noticeably different how big they are. So 2912s. These Billet specialty wheels look killer. It's gonna look great too when we match up our bolt pattern on the outside with the ones on the inside. Yeah, that is race ready. Check those guys out. All the beef, boys. So let's do a quick check on the car to make sure that we don't have any fitment issues before we put the screws in them. That way, you know, if they don't work out and they're too big for the car, then we could sell them or send them back or do something. I don't know, whatever. But so yeah, we'll do a quick check on the car now. I already got our street tires off, so we're ready to go. We'll pop those guys on and just make sure we don't have any fitment issues. So just doing a quick check on the fitment to make sure we don't have any problems fitting that tire in that wheel well before we put the screws in them. Looks like I got quite a bit of room up in here. There's at least 3/4 of an inch there. Now even with the 29 tall, I got about an inch here. So everything is looking pretty good. Still got room on the inside too, of course. Yeah, so lots of room. Check both sides too. They're pretty close, a little different side to side, but man, those look good on there. Right on. And that is with the weight of the car. I got the jack under it. I do have these stands here, but they're still just a little loose, so suspension is collapsed. Nice. Okay, so now we're ready to start putting screws into the new tires and wheels, but before we do that, we'll jump to all the weight footage. I weighed everything before we started taking the tires and wheels all apart and got the new ones mounted and balanced, so I can give you guys some true weights on Weld wheels versus Billet specialties and what my old combo weighed versus what my new combo weighs. So let's check it out. Okay, comp series by itself. Looks like 13.6 pounds. And Weld wheel by itself. If I can do this here. Looking like 15.2. Complete Mickey Thompson and Weld wheel. 44? Yeah, 44. Okay, Billet specialty and Goodyear slick onto the scale. Let's see what we got. Looking 47. So that's pretty interesting. They still weigh a little bit more, even though the rims are lighter. I guess just the overall size of the tire, the extra rubber, of course, is making them a little bit heavier, but I don't know, price you gotta pay, I guess. I'll pay that price. So we're ready to start sending our screws in now. We got all our Moroso screws ready to go. I'm gonna use a Milwaukee little impact guy, and then this is a nice little bit, 4 3/8 hex head, which is exactly what those Morosos take. So we're going right into the meat of the tire. So just line it up even with your rim and just make sure it goes right into the meat and send her home. Just like that. Just gotta do them all on this side, flip it, do them all on the good side. And here's our finished product. Look at those studs all the way around the outside. That looks absolutely awesome. I think the yellow is gonna look really good on the car too. You can see I got those studs nice and flat against the rim, so they're on a slight angle right into the meat of the tire. And I had those tires at 20 PSI doing that. That's what they recommend to make sure that you get that screw into the tire. But that tire is not slipping on that rim at all. Man, that looks good. I just geek out over this stuff. I love it. Check out the dish on those wheels. I wish I could run that on the street. Just not in the rain. But that's awesome. Oh, sneak peek. I got new street tires too. 29 12.5s for the street, so we're getting beefed all around. Oh man. Race day's coming soon. Okay, so that's gonna close out this video, guys. I hope that helped you if you're planning on running screws, tubes, new rims, tires, all of it. Thanks for watching again. I really wish I could put them on the car and do a rollout video for you guys, but we're getting closer. Stay tuned, more videos coming. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.